Hey, this is Dennis with Home Rehab Pros. How are you today? I hope everything is good for you and yours. Thanks for tuning in. I've got a project today that is in a garage. I have to hang a bike on the wall in the garage, get it out of the way of the car, foot traffic, whatever it may be. And so I'm going to show you the bike. I'm going to show you the tools. I'm going to show you the hardware. And then we're going to get this going. So if you have a project that you want to do, something like this, you can do it. Just get the right tools, do your homework, read the instruction manual, and I know that you can do it. So let's just do it together, just this once. So let's get started. So here's the bike. This is what we're going to work on, is getting this installed on a bike hanger up on our wall. Now let's look at the tools that we need. And these are what we're going to use. We're going to use a drill, an impact driver, a pencil. There's the screws. We've got a drill bit, a stud finder, the kit to hang the bike, and we've got a torpedo level. So those are the tools that we're going to use, and we're going to get this done. So the instruction manual tells me to measure the bike. So that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to go to the end of the tire, the rear tire, and you're seeing the front tire here. And just to make sure we're good, it's going to be close enough. It's going to be 72 inches. I don't know if you can see that. Let me try to make it so that you can. 72 inches. So the instructions say after you measure the bike to come down 3 inches, 69 inches, and that's where the top screw of your hardware should go in the wall. I think I want to lift my bike a little bit higher than that, and I know I have enough room because I have an 8-foot ceiling in the garage. So I'm just going to leave it at 72 inches, and we're going to mark it that way. But first of all, let's find our studs, and I've got that stud finder there. So let's do that. So this is my stud finder, and it's a good stud finder. I've had it for quite some time. And the way you use it is you have a button over here, and it identifies that it's ready to scan. So I'm ready to scan now. And so you just, once that happens, you move the stud finder slowly across the wall until it does that. So there's the edge of the stud. Now as you carry it, you're gonna find that it comes to the other edge of the stud. And so there's basically our stud. So I wanna mark that up at 72 inches. All right, so let's get our tape measure and let's see what we can do for that. So first, I'm gonna find out how far 72 inches up is. Okay, so it's about right there. Okay, got it, 72 inches, right about there. Okay, so I'm just gonna mark just a very light little pencil mark, just a spot right there. Now let's get our stud finder again at about that 72 inches. Ready? Okay, little spot right there. Little spot right there. And there's our stud. So this is where I'm gonna drill. So let's get our piece of hardware, and we're going to plumb that up, and I'll show you what that means. And then we're gonna drill our holes and install this. So here's my piece of hardware. It's got the 2 holes, top and bottom. There they are. And now I'm gonna make sure this is plumb. Now to make sure it's plumb, that little level, that has to be in between those 2 lines. So let me see, and then I'm gonna mark the bottom hole. Okay, and then we'll make sure they're both plumb after I remove the piece of hardware. All right, so we're gonna line that up, and we're gonna see what I gotta do to plumb this out. Okay. So I've got 2 pencil marks. Now I'm gonna make sure those pencil marks are plumb just by double check. I just wanna double check. And I've got my height on both of them. Okay. So, and yes, you want to be precise with that, right? You want to be precise. You want to make sure that it's plumb. So I've got both of those plumb and the distance is right. So now I'm going to drill my holes and then inevitably put the piece of hardware up on the wall with those bolts. So let's get those holes drilled. Okay, now let's double check to make sure they're plumb. It looks good. So now we're gonna get our impact wrench and our bolts, and we're gonna bolt this piece of equipment to the wall. So they want us to use these bolts and put a washer in between the bolt and the wall piece. So that's what I'm gonna do. Okay, so let's get the top bolt in. Okay, now let's get the bottom bolt in. All right, very good, looks pretty good. So now we're gonna get the arm installed into this piece of equipment, and we're gonna hang the bike. And then we're gonna do the lower piece of hardware, and that's what keeps the bike when we swivel it in its place. So let's take a look and let's watch that. So here's the piece. Okay, this is what the bike hangs on. So we're gonna put this pin in, because there's a hole there for this pin. That stabilizes the piece of hardware. That's how that hangs. Now let's put the bike on. I'm gonna take you away a little bit, get some distance, and then we're gonna show you how that bike hangs. This is the first time I've ever done it, so we'll see if it works. Okay, well that works pretty good. So now I gotta install the lower piece of hardware, and we'll show you how we do that. So this is the lower piece of hardware. It goes on the by the bottom tire. Here, let's get up where we need to do that. We're gonna lower our camera. Okay, so this piece of hardware goes right here, and it just kind of holds the bike in its place. But I have to check for the stud to make sure I'm still at the stud when I put these screws in. So let's do that with our stud finder. What I'm really gonna do is I'm gonna mark a spot here with a little pencil, just a tiny little mark. I'm gonna take the bike down, and I'm gonna make sure I know exactly where my stud is with my stud finder. We can put the screws in, do a little pre-drill for that, and then we'll hang the bike back up and see how this goes. Okay. So my pencil mark is right there. Let's just check to see where this stud is. Okay, so we got this. Okay, so there's my stud right there. So we're gonna do the same thing here. I'm gonna span that and make sure that we're level, or plumb, I should say. And so we're gonna draw a circle right here. And then this is where my other one is, right here. So we're gonna make sure that's plumb before I drill my holes. So right there and right there. I gotta get the right drill bit for that though. So I'm gonna use a smaller bit and I'm just gonna pre-drill right there. And right where that X marks the spot. Nice, right there. Right there. Excellent. Now let's rehang that bike and see how that works. All right, so I'm gonna rehang this bike and let's see how it works. I've got that locked. There's a pin that locks it in this position. So I can put the bike up and then we'll swivel it and we'll relock it. Let's see how it goes. Okay, so it hangs up very nicely. Now let's swivel it. I think it might be just a little close to that shelving unit, but we'll take that pin out, swivel it. Lock it again, and there you go. It is locked in place. Bike is stored. Now I just need to put up that second one. So if you have a project to do just like this, it's not that hard. You can see even, look, if I can do it, anybody can do it, right? So it's just a matter of taking your time, making sure you have the right tools, paying attention to the details, and get it done. So if you have a task like this you want to do, just do it. Do your research, follow the instructions, and get it done. And you know what? This is Dennis with Home Rehab Pros. Again, I thank you so much for watching. Hopefully this helped you if you have a task like this as well. So I hope everything is good for you and yours. If you haven't subscribed, we'd appreciate it if you did that. And of course, thumbs up can always help us as well. So you have a good day, and we'll see you in the next video.